lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge podcast. My name is Ryan, and with me, as always, is my boy Dill. And we are going to be talking about our favorite books this week. And that includes, of course, Heroes Reborn 6, as we near the end, Iron Man 9, X-Men 21, and 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. All great. The only one that was a mystery to me was obviously 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, and I fucking really like that book.
I really like that. I don't know where I didn't fuck synopses.
Yeah, no, I didn't read anything about the book, and shout out to the fucking guys in the kayfabe group on Facebook, because that somebody shared art for the book, and that was what kind of kept the title in my head, and I don't know who posted it, but that's the reason that we read the book this week, to be honest. Because that book was in my head for the past month and a half or whatever somebody shared it, and the art was what kind of made me want to check it out. And the fucking story is just. Do you want to talk that book first?
Let's talk Trigger Keaton, and then we'll talk Heroes Reborn, because I want to talk about Iron Man and I want to talk about X-Men. Okay, so I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I had no
I thought,
Oh,
I'm one of those.
credits.
I'm one of those. Oh, okay, go credits.
Okay,
sorry.
I forgot. Kyle Starks is the writer. Chris Schweizer is the artist. Liz Trice Schweizer is the coloring assistant, so he also does colors. And John Moisen is the editor.
So this is basically how I'm just going to approach all Image comics from now on. I don't want to read a synopsis by anything. But nothing. I don't care. That's going to be my new credo. I'm not doing it. I know that the Middle West team is coming back with another one, with another title soon from Image Comics. I'm super excited for it. I have no idea what it's about, but I just saw we just got the promotional posters for it, and I want it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Oh, the book is great. Yeah. The
book itself, yeah. And then I'm kind of and I feel like this is one of those books where you just find something absolutely golden, as first issue wise, and you had no idea what it was about. So, the 6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. I heard the name and I was like, oh, so this is gonna be like a Batman thing. He's gonna be like a dead superhero, and it's a story about that. Well, it's kind of like that, right? So Trigger Keaton being action star, he's like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris. Clint Eastwood, Dolph Lundgren, and Charles Bronson all in one person, right? Mm. He's a total dick. He actually punches stuntmen. He berates little kids in front of the whole film crew. This guy's a dick.
Yeah. I think it takes it to a whole nother level.
Because,
and for some reason he still has a job, and everybody just kind of has to accept it, but not one fucking person likes this dude.
Has anything nice to say about him.
No.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing nice to say about him. He dies.
Yeah.
They find him hanged in his apartment, and it goes into this whole thing where they're trying to figure out who did it. Mm-hmm. I love that idea, because the 6 sidekicks are a reference to people who's either been his actual sidekicks in movies or who has co-starred with him. And we don't even see everybody. There's 6, but I think we only see 4, right? Oh yeah.
We
do see all 6.
Yeah, Richard comes in really briefly, right, during that conference or for the eulogy, and dips out, right? Yeah. I think and then Miles is the current one that was the detective on the show that he was working on. Allison St. Marie, Paul Hernandez, Terry Komodo. Terry Komodo was my favorite, by the way.
Terry Komodo.
And then Tad Haycroft.
Was great.
Yeah, so we see them all, but and each one is was a different type of sidekick, within whatever shows that they were on, and he actually does train them in martial arts. He is an actual he does all his own stunts, which I think is kind of important, but in doing that, he actually fucks people up. I think somebody said that he fucking slapped her across the face. Yeah. And then that's what's funny too is I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but the stuntmen that are kind of at odds with the sidekicks because they're trying to figure out who killed Trigger Keaton, and the stuntmen hate him because he takes jobs from them because he does all his own stunts. And in turn,
and
he also
injures stunt people.
Yeah.
Like I think the director or the producer pops out in one of the shows. He's like, our friggin' premiums are going through the roof right now. You sent like 27 guys to the freaking emergency room. Like,
yeah,
bro, what a dick.
yeah. I love the guy. I mean, I love to hate him. To me, he's like on the level of like, he's a little bit more of a dickish like Frank Gallagher. Like Frank Gallagher is human scum, right? If you really think about what he does on Shameless, like there's really not.
I've only seen the first season of Shameless, by the
way. Dude,
I've never seen that kind of reaction from you.
Please do yourself a favor and stop watching whatever it is that you're watching. Go sit down with your wife and fucking power through. They have every season on Netflix except for the one that just finished.
Yeah.
You are going to laugh your fucking ass off.
I mean, no, I've seen the first season. Yeah, I know it's
that
great.
Does not do it even justice of what the show is. What William H. Macy does with Frank Gallagher, he is probably my top 3 or 5 favorite television characters of all time. And he's probably one of the biggest pieces of shit and biggest scumbags in TV that I've ever seen. But he does it so well
that you
can't help but love this fucking idiot. And like Trigger Keaton is kind of like that in a comic book character. That's why like I really dug the book, I think, because he is such an asshole. And even though we only briefly see him, he was done so well in the small amount of time that we saw him in the book.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
And I'm hoping that we do get to see flashbacks at least with him. Even though the sidekicks are all really great characters in their own right, I think Kyle Starks did a really good job of bringing these characters to us and giving them each like unique personalities in fucking 22 pages, 24. I don't know exactly I'm assuming it's 22 because like that's usually the page count. But Image sometimes will go over, but I think it's just fantastic, and I love the art. I love the energy of the art.
I love how the back of the book is a headshot signed by Trigger Keaton.
The back cover, yeah. And then hold on. Did you see the ad too?
Yeah, martial art.
These boots were made for justice. That's awesome. I didn't even notice this. Join the Trigger Keaton Circle of Friends fan club.
Yeah, dude, this is great. This is like
such a great book. Like
it kind of has the feels of an old pulp comic, right? So I love this thing. This is great. This is really good. This is really good writing. And like you said, each individual character, each individual sidekick has a very fleshed out personality. Like you kind of know exactly what kind of movie they starred in with him and how they were treated, right?
No, I like that. They zoom in, they'll say sidekick number, and then it's like a little synopsis of whatever the show.
It's the TV guide listing, dude. It's so good.
This is like, and let's shout out to Skybound, dude, because Skybound is producing this through Image, but Skybound is Robert Kirkman's imprint, and they do a lot of great stuff. It's like Skybound is producing Ultra Mega also, so like they are a company within a company. They're also like what Skybound has underneath them is really dope, and like they got that Skybound X series that's coming out in August or July, which I think we should do. We should read that every week also because it's got fucking some really dope creators doing some of the Skybound characters. I love that Skybound takes chances also, and I don't know if it's I do know. Image sometimes doesn't necessarily put out like doesn't push through a book, but then Skybound might get it. It's like Skybound might be like, oh well, we'll do it, And I don't know if this is one of these cases. I don't care. I think it's an awesome book. It's a story that
it feels like a Skybound book.
Yeah, I think Skybound is just. I think killing it. Kirkman is he's been killing it for years, and I'm so glad that he started the imprint and has helped bring other really dope books like Joshua Williamson's Birthright.
Yeah,
and
excellent.
Well, I mean that goes without saying. Excellence is
and the freaking Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead, Invincible. I mean,
Invincible
doesn't stop. So I just want to give my last thoughts on the book, and then you can give your closing thoughts on it. But I don't want to say too much, at least for me. on terms of what the story is. But this is great writing. This is great art, and it's a unique type of story that I don't think I've seen in comics, and I'm here for this. I'm so glad that I semi-randomly like kind of picked this to read for the podcast.
No, this is great. This was let's talk Heroes Reborn.
All right. I guess, as you all know, Jason Aaron wrote the book.
He wrote everything.
I think you guys are all aware. Erica Durso is the artist. Jason Keith is a colorist. For the Power Princess stuff, that's Jason Aaron, Erica Durso, Jason Keith. And then we get Aaron Ed McGinnis, Mark Morales, and Matthew Wilson for the backup. Obviously, Power Princess is the Wonder Woman analog. I'm really enjoying the fuck out of this series. Now I want a Squadron Supreme book.
Yeah. I feel invested with these characters now.
Like, I don't know what the plans are, but they got to do something with them now.
They're like a dark multiverse version of the Justice League. Like,
they kind of always were that.
Yeah, they kind of always were that. But this is like, they're likable. They're not like, oh, they're bad. They're bad to the core, and they have to be stopped. They're kind of like, oh, okay, like, I get it. Like, there's a brutality to them that's friggin' that's something beyond the Avengers would ever do. So I get like the thing. Except the same thing, their brutality is like beyond anything the Justice League would do. But I like them. Like, I don't know, Jason Aaron made me like this freaking Squadron Supreme. Yeah, Jason Aaron
she's got her headquarters in the fucking Statue of Liberty. I thought that was fucking dope. She
turned Null to stone. Like,
yeah, all her enemies are turned to stone and are surrounding her fucking like domain on fucking Statue of Liberty Island. Yeah, I think that she's like in just her inner dialogue of talking about like Hyperion, and then she pits Nighthawk and Hyperion against each other and how they had a civil war. And I'm assuming the civil war was over her because they were like, arguing about like who was going to get her, kind of. I'm assuming. That's kind of what I was led to believe.
That's what I really like about this one. It really like gives you a little tidbit over like major Marvel events that happen, even War of the Realms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, so it kind of gives you tidbits as to what was going on. It also shows you like where are the Asgardians in this? How did Thor become a drunkard? And that's why I like the backup story too. This is one of those ones where it was just like a good meshing of two characters, right? But anyway, I walked into the shop and I asked Jose what he thought about it. He said he thought it was filler. I don't think it was filler. I thought this was a very informational issue. And now we get to move on. I mean, we're down to like one issue left, right? How many issues is it?
It's 7, but then we have the Return. I figured we would still read the Return. Heroes Return number 1.
Yeah.
I think it's number 1, or maybe it's just the one shot. I don't know. But yeah, so the next issue, I'm assuming, especially because if you look at all the Jeffrey Verger covers, like he signals one character out, whoever the spotlight is. Squadron Supreme is going to be together in the next issue, and it's going to be like Avengers, or this world's version of Avengers versus Squadron Supreme.
That's basically what Jason Aaron was doing. He was creating his own self-contained MCU. He he gave us each one character and made us fall in love with these characters and gave us like reasons why we should care about them. And then he's giving us our Squadron Supreme movie.
Yeah.
Our Avengers.
He's really made me fucking enjoy. I mean, like, I don't know how like this affects the main 616 universe moving forward, but it's going to. I know it's going to have some sort of ramifications, because it's not like, I mean, Age of Apocalypse did. You know what I mean? Like when they did that with X-Men, and this is kind of in the similar vein, except instead of Bishop, it's Blade. Right?
Yeah.
Who remembered everything, and it has to get everyone back, and like, no, we got to bring the world back. You know what I mean? Like the way it's supposed to be. I
like the little references, how like people are starting to break reality. They're starting to understand that something is like really wrong, and I'm kind of hyped. I'm getting kind of super like the way they're executing Heroes Reborn, aside from the tie-ins, is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm
And
really
I love Power Princess, dude. I love her the way she describes her relationship with Namor.
Yeah.
I love how she has a fucking axe made of the fucking Rainbow Bridge
Bridge
shards. I mean, and then watching her go up against,
Gore, dude. When she goes
yeah.
against Gore, and I like how when Thor talks about it too later on, he's like, you're over there fighting, you're over there fucking becoming the hero and the god that I'm supposed to be. Like, yeah.
I know. I love how he has like vomit on his shirt, fucking,
Yeah.
fucking looking disheveled, and then as she's about to go get some, Mjolnir is just like flying around, and like obviously, if you know who the fuck Thor is, you know what that is, flying, like deflecting everything that she's throwing at him, and I kind of like when he gets the hammer back and he's got old school Thor costume. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed seeing that because it's a nice little throwback. I know it's not going to be his normal costume moving forward, but it's dope to kind of see that again. And as it ends, like she's saying, "Who have you ever heard of the Avengers?" And the team's together, the squadron is together. This is where everyone's going to face off. And the final piece of getting Thor with them for the team, like we lead into that as it ends. But I really liked seeing a little bit more back. We even got more backstory with Power Princess as a kid, and then Thor is like off in the background, right, just as a witness to what's happening, and he's just drinking himself into a stupor. Like I dug that. I really really enjoyed that. I mean, and they're even playing off of like Wonder Woman's backstory, mixing it in, with Thor's. Like it's just it's cool what they've done.
And like just the evolution of things, like how different things have became, like all the Algog, like that was crazy, right? Yeah. Like the Algog was freaking crazy. Like I mean the stuff with Gore, right? And how there was three separate timeline Power Princesses. There was the Queen, I mean, it's crazy. Like it's a really it's great to see that it's Jason Aaron doing this because he's putting a different spin on his own story, right?
Yeah, you can see the fun he's having.
Yeah, he's just having a lot of fun with it.
I think that's why it helps me as a reader have a lot of fun with it, because you can see that, dude, this is the most Jason Aaron stuff that I've read since he ended Thor.
Yeah,
this is the most I've enjoyed his writing. Besides the goddamn is good too.
It's just it's bombastic in its writing. It's a lot of fun. Like there's very little lull moments. It's kind of just always on a steady just on a steady climb as far as his writing goes. Like it's always just building up, and I'm so glad that we are reading this. It's one of the best little mini events I've read.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking fun, dude. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I'm so glad that we decided to talk about it too, instead of we just did number one and then didn't go through it. I think it's fun to do that with little events. I mean, normally it's not a weekly thing, but I like that it was good. It was good enough that we wanted to talk about it. Because I don't know that I would want.
With it coming out every week, it helped the structure of the reading, right? Because if it was every month we get a different freaking member of the Squadron Supreme, it wouldn't have held my attention as well as it did.
Right.
It's like, oh no, and then finally when we lead to the final event 8 months later, I'm not gonna care. So I feel these self-contained stories week after week been pretty good.
I can't wait for the end. I'm excited to see what happens and the repercussions. I'm kind of excited to see Avengers post the World War She-Hulk. I'm here for it. I'll check it out for sure.
World War She-Hulk.
Yeah.
For that. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hyped that She-Hulk is getting a lot of attention, bro. She-Hulk is easily one of my favorite, my favorite female characters, honestly. One of my favorite female characters. I love Jessica. She's great. Jennifer.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite female character is still Black Canary. I find it hard to not have her at the top, and I really like Barbara Gordon too.
I like Barbara Gordon a lot.
I like She-Hulk, but I really am digging the new Black Widow series. This has made me an even bigger Black Widow fan. I don't know if you've read it, but Kelly Thompson's killing it.
Yeah,
and it is fucking phenomenal. Like, it is so good. I think you should check it out. I think the first trade is coming out too, or is it out next week? I don't know. It's coming out soon because they're on issue 7 already, and I think it collects the first 5. But yeah, you should check it out. Anyways, let's talk another Marvel book, which I just realized as I was looking at our books, we read all Marvel and one Image this week. So
whatever. We had like months where it was all DC.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. There was nothing really worth reading at DC except the Urban Legend story is really good by Chip Zdarsky.
Fuck, I forgot to bring that up. Oh, yeah, I forgot to bring home Future State Gotham.
That was good too. Yeah.
Okay.
But let's talk Iron Man. Iron Man number 9. Chris Cantwell, Cafu, and Frank D'Armata is the colorist, and Joe Caramagna is the letterer. And this is a little bit different of an Iron Man issue. I honestly wasn't aware when I said let's read this one. So, yeah, I mean I'm current with the series, but it feels like there's been a huge gap between 8 and 9. In my mind, and I don't know if it's because I'm so many series are coming out twice a month.
No, like, I feel like this series has been out like for a year now or something, right? Like,
which one? Iron Man.
I feel like Iron Man. I don't know. I feel like from 1 to 9, it's just been such a long time. I feel like I've been talking about this thing for like over a year now.
It is. It feels like I feel like there's been a gap. I mean, for sure between 8 and 9, but I could be completely wrong, and it could just be because I'm so like Amazing Spider-Man's 3 times a month, right? And then like Nick and I were talking about Eternals. Like, man, does it feel like it's late? And I'm like, no, it's just a monthly book. So that's why it feels that way, because you see so much stuff being compacted and being released so frequently. But this is a good issue. It's more of a spotlight on Korvac, who I don't really know much about.
Yeah,
I know there's a famous Avengers of the Korvac saga. I never read that.
Neither do I. I feel like everybody in this whole book is low B lister or C or solid C listers, right? Everybody from Scarlet Spider to Misty Knight to Frogman. Like, look at who I'm just naming: Scarlet Spider, Misty Knight, Frogman, Blizzard, Guardsman. Like, the Unicorn. We've been over the Unicorn. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody. I would even say the Unicorn is a D-lister. Like,
I don't think he's on many people's list at all. So
yeah, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, these
these
everyone here is like, nobody cares about any of these people. Like, as much as I love the Scarlet Spider, like, he hasn't had a good book. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I think it's just, I love his costume so much. Like,
yeah, that's probably the only thing I like about him is his costume. I don't think. I mean, I
like his quips. He's been really quippy in this. Yeah. So that I definitely enjoy. Yes, but so far I think Kafu's been killing it. Kafu is otherworldly in this whole series. Like,
he should be talked about more. Not enough people talk about his art, man. I think he is like easily one of Marvel's best artists, and he's like, and he's just like floating under the radar. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it, dude. He's so good. Like, to me, this is on the level of like when Salvador LaRocca was on Iron Man with Matt Fraction. Yeah. Like, it's just as good. And like, what the fuck are people not paying attention to this book for? Like, it's phenomenal. His art, you talked about the BC D-listers, but he makes them look cool. Like, even these like corny ass Frogman. I'm still like, well, it looks like that's a dope looking Frogman though. You know, considering that he's a fucking corny ass character. So
I think he really he makes Hellcat look cool.
I love Hellcat now.
Yeah.
Because of this run. And it's also Chris Cantwell's writing of her.
Yeah. Cantwell's been killing it. I honestly think Cantwell has been killing it. And it's funny that you mentioned LaRocca, because he worked with LaRocca on Doom, right? Mm-hmm. Now he's working with Kafu, who's a similar artist on Iron Man. Like, I can't wait to see what he works on next, right? Because he's been I mean, those are 2 big characters that he's writing for, and like, I feel like not enough people were talking about either Doctor Doom or this current Iron Man. Not enough people are talking about it, and like, they really take the character in different directions, right? And Doom was trying to be a good person, and it was talking about how he wanted to change the world, and then like, whatever. And then this is like a complete breakdown of Tony Stark. Like, look, like we're breaking you down. You're broke. You have nothing, and you have a base ass friggin' Iron Man suit that needs to be tuned up manually. Like,
well, yeah, and he also fucking was pretty much dead, right?
Yeah,
the suit was keeping him alive. Like, that's in the past few issues. Like, and again, I don't know if I said this to you, who I said it to, but if I can remember what happened in the last issue, when I read the new issue, that means that I'm reading a good book. Because sometimes, like, if it's like a just middle of the ground book, and I won't retain it. Iron Man has consistently been good from issue 1 until issue 9. Even this issue where we don't even have Tony Stark in the book. Yeah. This is all Korvac, which I'm kind of glad I got because I don't know about him, and I don't normally do, if there's a new character in a book, I don't normally do the research. I'm like, oh, I got to learn all about this character. I mean, I'll do that with music when I want to learn about, like, oh, I like this artist, I got to go back and get his old music. It's not the same for me with a comic book character. Like, I want to see what this character is now, because if I go back and read the old stuff, I may think he's corny as fuck, and it may ruin the way I'm looking at the character. But I think this is dope. I think I really love bringing Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That was one of the best things ever.
Yeah, like, and you know what it makes me want to do is it makes me want to go read Zdarsky's Invader series that he wrote, because I wasn't paying attention to that book, and this is how we have he is, where he's like buried under the fucking it's on the moon, right?
No, it's some rando planet.
It's a random planet. Okay, so
I don't think they specify.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm looking at the top of the page.
It's just on their way to Ta. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get to Ta too.
So I love that, he's in the book, and that he's like basically the number 1 to Korvac's number 4 version of this android. So I think that's it. The dynamic of Korvac like wanting that partnership, and like trying to convince him, like, no, my way's right, and then Human Torch just comes out of it and just, no, like, you're fucking crazy. And like we get a little blast into the past with Korvac, with old school Avengers, and we see them in all their glory of the 80s, and with Jocasta and Wonder Man and fucking Miss, Carol Danvers in her old school costume. Like, I really dug that.
I love the feathered 80s look that Carol has. I love that.
Yes. It just makes me, okay, if you didn't already realize that Cantwell is a diehard Marvel guy and knows his shit, based on him bringing these BCD listers, and he's like, dude, he's hitting everything for me. Like, I am really digging how he's bringing in the past. To me, it's kind of like, I don't know if we did say this before, but what Jeff Johns did with Green Lantern, taking corny-ass characters and making them cool. What he did with Flash, he took the Flash's Rogues Gallery, which were a fucking joke to everybody. Nobody took these characters seriously. And he made a character called Captain Cold that wears a fucking Eskimo-type jacket, one of the fucking scariest villains, one of the dopest villains in DC. And Cantwell's doing that for Iron Man. He's really taking a back-to-basics look. He's bringing in old characters and showing them to us in a new light, and that's why I'm digging this book so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make a guy named the Unicorn threatening, you're doing a really good job, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Unicorn. Now I want to see him do the Porcupine. Can you do the Porcupine? If you could if a writer out there could make the Porcupine menacing, I will buy your book. I will buy everything you write. But yeah, anyway, final thoughts on this. This is a fantastic series.
Yeah.
Everybody should read it. This is one of those things where it'll fall under the radar, and then like a year or two later, like when it's like in collected editions and stuff, people are gonna fucking go crazy for it. This is quality Iron Man work here.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I think that we obviously, we love it, and I wouldn't even mind rereading that first arc. Get a little more people talking about it. They hear, listen and watching everybody that listens and watches us. hopefully they check it out. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great book.
And also from a collector standpoint, every single cover has been done by Alex Ross. This is like so it's following suit with like Immortal Hulk. Like
he's doing some really dope covers for Iron Man.
Yeah.
In general, and like
the Moon Dragon
the
one is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, like I liked the one that he did with what was it? The Glass of Alcohol.
Yeah. Where he's holding the fucking the ice cubes.
Yeah,
that shit was dope.
That shit was fire, dude. That was one of my
so tight.
One of my favorite. I saw that cover and I'm like, dude, this is what I like Alex Ross doing. Don't just do like a pose or a generic looking thing. God damn, my fucking mustache is tickling.
That's why his Immortal Hulk covers have been phenomenal.
Yeah,
so crazy, especially the earlier ones, like from 1 through 10. Those first 10 covers,
I know.
Fucking nuts, dude.
Immortal Hulk. I'm so sad it's ending.
Hey, but it's cool. It's cool. Like
yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like you know why? Because you don't want to run to go so long where you get tired of the writer. 50 is good.
Yeah,
that's 4 years, dude. That's 4 years. That's 4 years worth of fucking Hulk.
But yeah, Iron Man, great. Let's talk X-Men because this issue was so good.
This issue was so fucking cool.
First of all, let me read the credits because reading the credits in and of itself is going to tell you why I fucking dug this book so much. First of all, Jonathan Hickman, obviously, right? He's the writer, but he's got multiple artists. I'm going to start from the back end and then work up to why I'm so excited. So Sarah Pichelli, Lucas Wernick, Russell Doggerman, who I love, but Nick fucking Dragotta of East of West fame drew fucking X-Men pages. I never thought I would see it. It was amazing. And then Frank Martin, Matthew Wilson, Sonny Go, Nolan Woodard, colorist, Clayton Cowles, letter, Tom Muller, design. So let me start off the bat. The Nick Dragotta pages are what we open with. His Namor, his fucking Namor. I have been clamoring, since I've read Hickman write Namor with Fantastic Four. Give this motherfucker a Submariner book. If you put Jonathan Hickman's name on a Submariner book, that it will sell. Yeah, it's going to.
No,
I don't care who you 100%. Are. Like people will follow Hickman to whatever he writes. I think that's clear.
In the few panels that we get of Namor, that is fucking perfect. That is perfect Namor. And what I love the most about Namor, he has this arrogance about him, but it's merited. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, but you're right though. Fuck, but you're right though. Like I have dominion over 70% of this planet. Come to me when you have something better to offer.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of did that too when Xavier went to him in House and Powers. I don't remember which one it was, but he went to him and fucking Namor was like, no. You know? He's like, you come back to me later when you guys have a better idea. You know what I mean? Like he's still continuing that. He's
you
like,
guys are you guys are a council of children.
Yeah, you still haven't shown me anything different that I haven't seen before. Come to me when you got a better idea. You know, and then even as first of all, I also have to say I cannot stand the way Professor X and Magneto look in their fucking costumes. It has nothing to do with the artist. I just this top hat, like Magneto, like the gold and white. They just, to me, it looks a little corny, but whatever. I think it's of all the outfits of the gala, these are probably my least favorite. And I know that that's really nitpicky, but whatever. That's what
we all know who killed the gala, and it was freaking Emma Frost. Emma Frost killed the gala. Yeah. Emma Frost. First off, how you come out as a diamond dressed in diamonds? The fuck?
So,
she's literally Rihanna.
Dude, she's fucking. She is like one of the most interesting characters since Hickman's taken over X-Men. Yes. Like she's got she's got stuff going that we still don't even know what the fuck she's up to. Like, she is working shit behind the scenes that still have not been brought to light. And you continue to see it throughout the Hellfire Gala with the Marauders issue. I don't know if you read that.
No, I haven't. This is my first Hellfire Gala issue.
Okay, so
I gotta catch up.
If you look at it, real quick, if you look at the back, okay, so they're and this is very telling. So they're releasing 2 collections. They're releasing a hardcover of all the Hellfire Gala issues, right? And then they're releasing a trade of the Hellfire Gala. And all it has in that trade is Marauders 21, X-Men 21, Planet-Size X-Men #1, and Sword 6. That's all it has in the trade.
I gotta read Sword.
And if you look at the back of the book, those are the books highlighted in those are the important issues, much like they did with House and Powers when they would highlight certain ones, like this is the issue. So Marauders was an important one. X-Men is also an important one. And the next week is Planet-Size X-Men, which we're reading
off
next
top.
week.
We're doing it, yeah, off top.
So I like
Planet-Size,
that Namor, as he's like telling Professor X and Magneto, like, fucking, you come back to me when you got something else to say to me. And he even says his interests, whatever they are divided. And then he walks up to the Illuminati, which we haven't seen together in a long time. But like that little that panel was really dope. I really enjoyed that. And then Dodderman killed it too. I love his Jean Grey. His Jean Grey is just so dope. I adore it. And I love how they announced the X-Men. Let me just share this and then you go, because I know I'm kind of taking. I just really love this issue.
No.
The way the X-Men are picked, Jean Grey connects everybody's minds, and the mutants have to fucking give a reason why they should be in the X-Men and why they want to be in the X-Men, and that's how they're picked. Like, I thought that was cool.
And everyone who's interconnected has to vote. Like, oh, that person's reasons are the best. That person's reasons are good. That person's reasons are good. And it's so good, dude.
I love the lineup. I dig that we get Polaris, we get Sync, who I really like now, based on past couple issues. You remember when they come back out of?
Yeah. That with Laura, that whole when they're in the bubble for like 100 years, like what?
That was the issue that I wanted to read for the podcast, but you weren't caught up, so I didn't want to force you. But I'm glad you read it because that issue was dope. And then
those two issues were fucking insanely good.
And then we get Laura on the team, Rogue, who's one of my favorites, Sunfire, Cyclops, and Jean Grey. So I'm loving the lineup. We get a little bit of the Sinister Secrets, which we don't need to get into because that's a lot. But yeah, this is just a great issue. You go. You share some of your thoughts because I could take over this whole fucking.
Okay, so first and fucking foremost, something I'm just going to talk about just to get it out of the way: the cameos. We got Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
We have, I think it's Patton Oswalt. At one point.
Oswalt.
We get Eminem and Method Man within like 2 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then I don't know. I just feel like this is like the who's who, right? Like they really Emma Frost literally put.
George R. Martin is in there too.
Yeah, George R. Martin too. And I think it's his wife, but it's phenomenal. It's the craziest thing. It's like they were like, you know what? We're gonna give all these people their first appearances in comic books. Well, technically, this would be Eminem's 3rd appearance. He's been in 2. He's been in Iron Man. He's been in Punisher.
That's right.
You know how much that friggin' Eminem one is going for? It's like $600. I just want it just to have it.
I don't want to sell it. I want them for my collection for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So what's been going on with the X-Men post Extra Swords has been fantastic. I really like how Hickman is really he's not just branching off and just starting brand new stories where that has nothing to do with the past because for the longest time, I've been wondering what's going on with Moira. We get a glimpse of Moira in the past few issues. We get Mystique back and the whole prophecy she gets. So that was crazy to me. That was one of my favorite. That was one of the most ominous and one of my most favorite things in House and Powers. Right when Mystique gets the prophecy, and it's everything's starting to come to play. And it's like they'll promise you that they're gonna bring you that they'll bring me back, but when you ask for it, they're gonna say no. And all this stuff is starting to play out, and the whole burn the island to the ground thing. Yo, what is gonna happen? So this
Inferno's gonna fucking happen.
Inferno's gonna fucking happen. But man, I mean the last Inferno, the last X-Men Inferno, that's one of my favorite X-Men stories, easily, but easily. But I really like what Hickman's doing. Some titles are a little stronger than others, and some titles aren't up to par with what's going on. But the main X-Men line, the main X-Men title, has been solid the whole way through. Whole way through. And I love it. Like being a 92 X baby myself, like it's great to see them back. And what grand way to set it off, the new X-Men team, than to have the fucking Hellfire Gala.
And this is Hickman's last X-Men issue in the ongoing. Like Jerry Duggan and
okay, I'm okay with that.
Is taking I'm cool with that too. Jerry Duggan is gonna take over the X-Men book. Yeah, and it's relaunching with number 1. I think it's going to be a really good book. I mean, Hickman's not done with X-Men. He's writing the 4-issue Inferno series, which starts in September. And then my guess is that he will write Uncanny when he comes out of that. I'm assuming. I could be wrong, but how do you not have Uncanny X-Men? Like, that is the flagship X-Men title. X-Men adjective list is not. Like, that only started with Jim Lee in 91. So you need to have an Uncanny. I think Hickman should write it. We'll see what happens post-Inferno, but I really think that this is the best X-Men has been since... Matt Fraction did a good job. You know, Brubaker wrote some good stuff too. So it's not like it hasn't been good since Morrison, but I haven't been as excited about X-Men since Grant Morrison. Like, there was a level of excitement to me back then. But Hickman has killed it. The final page too, spoiler alert, this is me and Nick fucking brainstorming together on Tuesday after we read it. We were talking about it for like basically the entire day. Like, a customer came in, he stayed in the shop, he was there all day, and then he caught up on Hellfire Gala in the store, read them, and then read X-Men, and then we were all talking about it and speculating. So at the end, you see that like Emma's pointing to the sky, right? And you see this orange orb type thing. Mm-hmm. And 2 mutants floating within it. Now, it's called Planet-Size X-Men. I'm thinking they're going to create their own planet. That's my guess. Now, how could they not? I mean, Krakoa is a living island, right? They take flowers and create portals within space on different planets throughout Earth.
And they terraform it.
So that's my guess. Also, like, I thought so because we're going to learn about 2 new Omega level mutants. Krakoa is a mutant. What if Krakoa, secondary mutation, right, is to create other mass fucking lands, right? I don't know. This is all just me guessing, man. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then also we are teased that there's 2 open spots on the council. So they're soliciting the Planet-Size X-Men as this is the biggest X-Men comic since Giant Size X-Men #1. So we're going to get, I think that because of the council members, that there's the 2 spots, I think that's going to be important. But I also think that the new Omega level mutants is going to be big. And I think creating a planet for mutants, that's pretty fucking big, right? So that's my speculation on what I think is going to take place in the next one. And I don't know who that is in space floating there on those rocks, but I feel like they're at the core. Like that I feel like is a projection bubble, right? That's like encapsulating them so that they can be in space and breathing. And I feel like whatever the fuck is in the middle between them is going to be the new planet core.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I don't know. I don't know what you took from it when you read it, but I spent hours talking about it.
I was just trying to figure out who's making the planet, because that was my thing too. I feel like they're gonna get planet, right? But like, and the whole Krakoa thing, 100% makes sense. But I'm just like, as far as the 2 Omega, as far as getting teased with the 2 seats, like I feel at this point it could really be anybody. You know, obviously none of the younger people, but like.
Could it be a human? Could it be a human representative on the council?
No.
No?
How many humans? I mean, aside from the Hellfire Gala, how many humans has been on the island?
That's true, but all they need is that flower.
Yeah, that's no problem. But like the only time they really had it was when Kitty was like smuggling child traffic victims to and from wherever they need to go. You know what I mean? Whenever they found them, they came back to the island and then they dispersed. Yeah. But yeah, it was like the only humans. But I don't know. As far as a human being on the Quiet Council, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like they'd have a liaison, but no one who could make like sit there and make decisions in
well, that's true.
In the place of humanity.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they would never.
Curious too. I'm just curious. I mean, Namor was always my guess. I'm like, you gotta have Namor on the council, but he already turned it down. So
Twice.
I don't know who you put on that's going to be shocking. You know what I mean? Like, who do you put on the council that you're like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe they did that. Plus, you have the trial of Magneto coming up. So we're not even done with the gala, and apparently there's going to be a death. So, and then Magneto's on trial, and that's where he gets his black costume, right? He's going to have the fucking trench coat. I think that's the same costume he wore in the Magneto ongoing, right? Didn't he have a black trench coat?
No Hero? He had a black suit.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it was a trench coat. Was it a trench coat?
I don't know. It's been a while since I read.
I'd have to look it up. Okay. No, because now I'm seeing two images. I'm seeing him like holding up. He's holding up the rock. Like, yeah. And I don't know if he's in costume or if he's in a trench coat. I see both.
Okay. Yeah. I know.
But yeah, this is grade A stuff. I love the X-Men.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you and I are talking so excitedly about it is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had any Hickman X-Men on here, and like I had to fix that. I'm like, we're reading X-Men 21. We have to read. Yeah. It's just a no-brainer, and we will read X-Men #1 when Jerry Duggan's comes out because I'm very excited about that. I think Pepe Larraz is on that. Yeah, Pepe Larraz, and look at that fucking image, bro. I mean, that's exciting.
Fucking sick.
That's exciting stuff. So X-Men line is in good hands. Yeah, there's some stuff that's not really for me that I'm not really 100% digging, but I think that X-Men has been phenomenal. I'm excited to see what happens, and that's all I got. That I'm down to talk what we're reading next week, unless you got anything else you want to add.
No, this is just read more X-Men. Yeah, everybody just needs to read more X-Men.
And speaking of that, next week, Planet Size X-Men #1. We are going
Planet Size X-Men.
We want you to read more X-Men, and we are going to read more X-Men, and we're going to talk about more X-Men. X-Men. So next week...
We've talked enough about Magistrate. Now it's X-Men.
Correct.
I'm here for
it. So that's one of my picks. I already know you're going to say yes to this once this title leaves my mouth. Static.
Yeah, the fuck?
Okay. Yeah, so Static we're going to read as well, and then obviously Heroes Reborn. And I thought... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was about to say Better 200, yeah.
So all Marvel all the time?
So we're done. I mean, it's not our fault that Marvel's killing it.
Marvel's killing it. And that's... Oh, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out next week. I mean, a Nightwing. I've been loving Nightwing and Bitewing. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be cool. I feel like Planetside X-Men is going to be a beefy one, though.
There's going to be a lot to uncover, though. That's why I was like, maybe 5 books is too much. But we'll get it done.
We'll get it done. It's fine.
All right, cool. Well, that's all I got then for today. And
now that fucking Venom song is stuck in my head. It's going to be stuck in my head.
I know, it's stuck in my head, too. The minute we stop recording, I'm like, It's not even a song that I really thoroughly enjoy.
I don't even really like it. Yeah, it sticks. Venom.
Yeah. Anyways.
I get it. Time to go get 'em.
All right, I gotta cut you off. Stop. If you're not already following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Follow Dylan at The Dillbot on Instagram. Dillbot is dope on Twitter. And make sure you follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.